of all, I want to say that I thought our crowd the last two games was just fantastic. I mean, what a tribute to them, what a great job they did. The students were on full force for both of these games. The community came out. They tried to give us some energy and will our way back into the game. So I thought they did a tremendous, tremendous job, and hopefully they'll stay with us and come back because we got a lot more basketball in us. In terms of the game, I thought Oregon State did an excellent job. They're very well coached. They know exactly who they are. They stayed within what they wanted to do, and they executed a great game plan. They controlled tempo pretty much the whole entire game. We never had an opportunity to get at the pace we wanted to play at. I thought when I look back on the game, we were a little bit stagnant. We missed shots. We looked like a Washington State team of old. What I mean by that, where we looked early on in the preseason, where we had our looks. We had our looks where we could control tempo and get out in front of them. They made shots. They made free throws. We missed shots, and were unable to get the tempo of the game that we needed. Devontae tried to get us going. He was banged up from the Oregon game and didn't know how much he was going to be able to go. And I thought he did a good job of gutting himself through it and trying to push himself and will us through it. But the game came down to their game plan dictated everything. We never had a chance to really get control of tempo and dictate the game.
So much of what you've done with this team is confidence related, and they've been playing with it lately. After a loss like this, do you just want them to flush it, or do you really try and pick apart what happened?
Well, you pick apart a little bit because we're going to play that team again. And certainly you may have some people that look at, okay, let's zone them more, things like that. We're an excellent shooting team. I believe as of today in conference play, we're the best scoring team in the conference in the first four games, and it gets away from us. But if you think about Oregon State's big victory over Arizona, and then they come back and score 15 points and a half against Washington. That's one of the most dreaded things us coaches try to fix is what happens after a big win, how do you get your team back? And this team had obviously a monster win on Thursday. You have them in an environment here, and mentally they were just not back where they need to be, which is why you didn't shoot the ball well, quite frankly. And we saw it. We tried to guard against it. We talked about it. But, again, this team is in uncharted territory from where they've been the last couple of years. So as much as they have to handle the adversity of going through some losses and the adversity of the road, they also have to handle the adversity that comes with winning, particularly when you're winning and you're at home, because you've got to be able to fight through that and understand how important it is to have yourself ready for your next opponent and everything. And I thought we were a little bit flat, particularly on the offensive end of the floor.
Coach, you guys had only 3 free throws in the first half, and second half you had 14. Was that a conscious decision going to the lane and trying down on contact?
Well, it was a conscious decision because we weren't shooting the ball very well, so we tried to put it on the floor and get inside more. If you remember, we started the game going right inside the door, and Rayleigh, 2-foot shot blocked. We went back. Dex had a layup in there that missed, and we didn't get a lot done inside to start the game. Then we started settling for jump shots, and obviously that wasn't working because we were missing shots. So we tried to put it on the floor and attack more, particularly late to kind of lengthen the game by getting to the free throw line a little bit more.
What sort of different look were you looking for when you put Trevor in to run the point?
I thought, again, to speed the game up, to give us some quickness, more importantly, to give some more scoring opportunities. And I thought he did a good job when he got in the game because he was able to get into the lane. And I remember he gave 3 or 4 guys great looks. And Q Johnson, Brett Bass, Brett shot it well at times. Dex, but the ball just didn't go down. But he did his job. He did exactly what we needed him to do. Changed the pace of the game when we put him in. I thought he was good at that.
In the interest of speeding up the game, you went with a small lineup for most of the game. Seeing the trade-off in terms of rebounding, is that a trade-off you're still willing to make?
Well, I am if the ball is going in because, again, our biggest problem in this game was shooting. Because, again, we had looks. They needed to score. And they had 25 points at halftime. And you would have thought they had 60 points at halftime because the tempo of the game was so slow. So it didn't have a lot to do with rebounding as it did scoring. We came out and kind of came back up on them a little bit as we knocked down some shots. And then, again, boom, they hit some free throws, got a couple layups. We missed some shots, and they took control of the game again. So it wasn't the rebounding I was so much worried about as it was offensively. We just didn't shoot the ball well. We've had some nights like that before. We may have some nights like that again, and hopefully fewer of those nights.
You went into a trap, try to speed things up a little bit. What did you like about what you saw out there, and what do you guys need to improve upon when you guys go into that trap?
I don't know how athletic we are to really trap people and do that. So when teams put you in that position, you're kind of a little bit desperate where you got to trap and do some things to speed the game up and change it. That's not our forte to do that. We kind of use the press to change the rhythm from here to there from point times in the game, but to say we're just gonna flat out trap people all over, we needed to do something to change tempo, change the rhythm of the game. And we're able to do that again, but again, we had some looks, we missed shots, they get away from you, get out of your traps, they go make plays, and they hit some big threes coming out of those traps that kind of makes you pay to have to play that way.
A lot of those big threes coming from Langston Morris Walker. Could you speak to the night he had?
Well, he made good shots. I mean, he hit some big threes to them. When you look at them, you think they're not the greatest offensive team or greatest shooting team, and he hit some big shots and made us pay pretty much every time we had to double team. So again, by getting behind, getting stagnant, having to change the way you play, having to press more, do some things that are uncharacteristic what you have to do, he stepped up then and made you pay for